Ariza has a history of being a known Judas. His history throughout boxing and boxing media has been known as being, oh, he leave your camp, he gonna go to somebody else's camp, start talking some shit, right? So when you match up Ariza, the most controversial, you have to give that to him, strength and conditioning coach of all time, and you match him up with FightHype.com, what do you get? What do you really, what do you get? Now, let's talk about the business aspect of it. So, me, I have aspirations to be a boxing promoter one day. So stuff like this you have to look at if you're someone like me with a keen eye. You gotta investigate. And you have to look around the entire situation, meaning thinking outside of the box. So what I'm asking you is, what is the first thing you would do if you bring Ariza into your camp? What was the first thing you would do? Please subscribe. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds. Please subscribe. Real Combat Media, the article's right below. I'm going to sign his ass to a contract. You don't talk about nothing or in any way, shape, or form when you leave this gym. Whatever beef we have or anything, you don't talk about nothing. I don't want to hear, you going and giving some interview and talking about some contract. I don't want to hear you talking about the money team women. So he's in a contract for 2 years. Now, what does that mean? That means that he belongs to Floyd Mayweather for 2 years. Will he be working with Floyd Mayweather for these 2 years? That is not known. But it's basically saying, okay, well, you helped us out this time, but let's sign you up to make sure you don't go nowhere else. That's the first thing. Listen, that's the first thing you should do with a guy like Ariza. Make sure it's like, oh, you're not, I know you known for jumping camps, and jumping sides. So, oh, you coming over here, you sign a contract. You're not going to be just leaving here and going, talking shit. And that's what that's what I look at. Now, this is one of those videos that people are going to forget about, and I'm talking about my naysayers. Because I'm going to be very critical of Bob Arum. I'm going to be very critical of Manny Pacquiao. But these are the videos that people forget about. So I'm going to say this. When it comes to the 40 million, this is my opinion. Manny Pacquiao had every right to turn it down. Also, when you think about a current situation where Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. upset with Bob Arum because Bob Arum's coming to him and his pop, or more so Bob Arum's going to Chavez Sr. like basically, I'm just dumbing it down like, yo, what's up with your son? Tell your son to sign that contract, man. He bullshit. I'm trying to get these fights. You got Chavez Sr. chain smoking like, yeah, I'm gonna get him, man. He don't be doing that. He always on that dumb shit, man. But let's just moving on. So when you think about Chavez Jr. wanting Bob Arum to go to his manager, Chavez is basically like, yo, that's what I got a manager for. Why you going to my pop? Like, no, I'm not signing that contract. So when you think about Floyd Mayweather on the phone with Manny Pacquiao, $40 million, why didn't you talk to his manager? Anybody want to fight Floyd Mayweather, you talk to Floyd Mayweather team. You can't have Robert Guerrero calling up Floyd, or Floyd calling up Robert Guerrero like, yeah, $3 million. And it's like Robert Guerrero could be like, oh yeah, huh? That's the biggest payday I've ever had. But still, you want to run it by your manager like, oh, but he's going to get like 30 something. Let's see if we can ride this out a little longer. So, and at that point in time, if I'm correct, Floyd Mayweather was partially inactive. So that was a 50-50 fight, if not anything. People forget that at that point in time that was a 50-50 fight. But the controversy came in when Senator Pacquiao, you know who Senator Pacquiao is, when Senator Pacquiao didn't want to take the drug test. Now, maybe that was Senator Pacquiao with his pride. Basically, I'm going to interpret it. So, it's going to be some profanity. Like, who the fuck is he asking me to get a drug test? He don't even fight. I'll beat him the fuck up and go fight with my cocks. Pause. Anyway. Messed up my flow there. Anyway, you got Floyd Mayweather, who right now is A-side. I don't think Floyd Mayweather was necessarily fully A-side at that point in time, just to say 40 million. And don't forget, you got Alex Ariza on this interview talking about 40 million plus a back end that could equal 100 million. Floyd Mayweather, that conversation, if you forget, that conversation went 40 million, no pay-per-view buys. So what back end is he talking about? But yet, Alex Ariza is now the most credible person in the world when it comes to TBE. Dude was pissing me off, yo. But when it comes to that interview, there's a lot of things I can relate to. For example, I say, when you got a guy like Bob Arum, he's like 85 or whatever he is, you know, he's really old. So when you're doing business with a guy like that, you have to think to yourself like, okay, all right, you know what, he old as shit. That's just like when you're in the market and it's this old ass lady in front of you. I mean, I'm not being disrespectful, but she got all these coupons, and you looking like, why don't she got a smartphone? And she probably can put them on her and get her points off, and then not pulling on these coupons. So it's annoying stuff like that old people do. So I can imagine Bob Arum coming in there to the table all slow. And then he says, shake everybody's hands, his cheeks all rosy. His cheeks all rosy, and then it just like, you know, he just starts snapping out. Like he look at the contract like, no, we need a bigger arena. Or the popcorn, we want to get over red popcorn, not the MGM Grand popcorn. And it's like, that's the stuff old people do, and you're probably looking at him like, yo, no, this popcorn ain't like it, always been selling, numbers been going up. They got, but I've been doing this for 50 years. See what I'm saying? You know, so you gotta automatically think to yourself like, all right, I gotta go in here and I gotta fuck with his head. You know, like make him think like, okay, I'm listening to you, but real rap, like, yo, you on some bullshit. Now, Alex Ariza did make a point to where he's saying like Bob Arum just get all hysterical and just get up and just walk out. He old. Sometimes when it comes to, like, this is what I don't understand. I understand it's business and you don't want to budge. But when it comes to old people and when it comes to this much money being involved, you gotta, you know, sometimes you just gotta bow down. It's not, in boxing you can't be weak, but it's just basically sometimes how can I put it? To bow down may be better for you in the future. You know, so you go to Bob, and I'm just saying if I was me. Now, I know, you know, I'm just me. I'm not a boxing promoter yet, and all that stuff. But I'm going to think like, okay, well, he old. I'm going to let him cool off, and I'm going to go out there like, come on, man. Like, I'm going to just get straight, you know, like informal. All the formal shit that was in that room goes, so I'm like, listen, Bob, man, really? Like all this money, you know, and then he going to be like, well, nah, do all that old people stuff. And then what I'll do is I'll call him like 3 days later. I'm like, I'm not giving up on him. But you get a guy like Richard Schaefer, he's saying like, I'm not dealing with him ever again. It's like, who are you? You some Swiss banker. How do I know if you grew up watching boxing? So, and that's why I get pissed off, is because what about the fans? I understand it's issues when it comes to the business side, but what about the fans? You know, my cable bill is very expensive. The only shows I watch is Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, Sons of Anarchy, maybe The Strain, football, basketball, and boxing. All that Real Housewives of Australia and all, no. So when it comes to what I really watch, I watch the news, and on the weekends, I'm always looking for boxing. So with my internet package, Box Nation and all that, I'm a fan, god damn it. I'm a paying fan, and I support the sport. It's a Sunday morning, September the 28th, 2014, 8:18 a.m. I'm T-Street Controversy Live, and I cover boxing with Real Combat Media. I know I went off a little bit off topic, but see what I do is, I do my videos live and uncut, and no, I'm not being a douchebag by wearing these sunglasses. Let me show you. So, my eyes are like really dry. I've been putting these eye drops in, and they sting. Because I had like burst blood vessels. But long story short, look over here. You see it? You can't see it. It's healing up. It was in both of them. Doctor said 2 weeks, but now, you know, I'm actually not supposed to be wearing the sunglasses, but you know, I'm being a hardhead, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna be rebellious. Anyway, moving on. For Alex Ariza to say that the fight, Bob Arum, just like the whole goal is for the fight not to happen. I'm thinking like, okay, well, as it's often pointed out, Manny Pacquiao was put to sleep. So what is there to lose outside of money? I don't get it. He's already been put to sleep. And then they were chasing a Marquez rematch against a guy who could end his career and possibly kill him. So I'm saying like, okay, well, what reason would they not want to make the fight happen? Now, when it comes to Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer, you got to think. Bob Arum's been involved with Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Leonard. So you got to think he's a legendary promoter. People forget that. Now, when it comes to his practices about whether he's robbing his boxers or not, thank you, Al Heyman. Thank you so much. We know that Al Heyman takes care of his fighters. But when it comes to this fight, fuck all that. I don't care. But honestly, I said in a previous video that I'm not pointing no blame anymore. I don't care. Yes, Manny Pacquiao may be getting robbed. Yes, but that's his business. Floyd Mayweather is making $100 million a fight. If he is 70, 80 million, yes, that's my business. Because why? Because I paid my $74.99 plus tax. Also, with my Showtime subscription, eat Steven Espinoza and Al Heyman. Consider me a shareholder. I'm voicing my opinion. So, why am I so mad? Oftentimes I get these videos like where every now and then I just start running my mouth and I forget what to talk about. Or I forget what I was talking about. Damage I did a long time ago. Long story short, if Manny Pacquiao doesn't fight Floyd Mayweather, it's going to be the biggest botch of history, because in this generation, that is this generation's fight. You know, and to have those two go on this long without fighting each other. Sugar Ray Leonard was having dreams about Marvin Hagler. For them to go on this long and not fight each other. And then you got Floyd Mayweather approaching 38 years old. 38 years old. You know, Manny Pacquiao is what, going on 36. You know, it's time, because this is what people said they didn't want. They didn't want to see them fight when they was old. But now this is the last shot. I don't think we can make it to 2016 and this fight not happen. That's why when it comes to Bob Arum, keep saying that the networks are talking, they're willing to make a deal. How can I not believe that when you got Oscar De La Hoya on Fight Game 360 with Jim Lampley with Bob Arum? Both of them saying that they're making fights together. So right now, as of right now, Floyd Mayweather is still with Golden Boy Promotions. Floyd Mayweather has a Showtime deal. Golden Boy fighters have an exclusive Showtime deal, whatever Golden Boy fighters that there are. So when you have a Golden Boy fighter, Bernard Hopkins, Saul Canelo Alvarez, Saddam Ali going over to HBO, how are the networks not talking? Now, when it comes to Canelo, I heard it was only, well, it's been said it was only a verbal agreement. So basically, when it came to Canelo fighting, how can I put it? Golden Boy has that exclusive contract. But when it came to Canelo fighting with Golden Boy Promotions and fighting exclusively on Showtime, that was only a verbal agreement, but yet Amir Khan definitely fighting on Showtime. We know that for sure. I don't know if Danny Garcia, Robert Guerrero, I think Robert Guerrero has too as well, because remember, he wanted to go fight Manny Pacquiao and tried to leave Golden Boy. People forget about that. So, what I'm thinking is this. If Bernard Hopkins is over there, okay? Bernard Hopkins is over there. You got Canelo over there. These guys were just fighting on Showtime. How don't you think that the networks, even if it's not Espinoza or people above him, are not communicating in any way, shape, or form? Now, I keep saying in previous videos, in this video, that there are people that are above Oscar De La Hoya. There are people that are above Al Heyman. And that's high above. There are people that are above Steven Espinoza. There are investors. There are shareholders. Even stakeholders that are like, whoa, wait a minute. We're giving Floyd Mayweather all this money, but yo, where's that Pacquiao fight? We keep hearing about it. I don't know, I don't watch boxing, but even if there is people who don't watch boxing like us, they know of Mayweather Pacquiao. Dead serious. Go ask some old lady. Be like, do you know who Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather is? She gonna probably be like, yeah, they supposed to fight. Ask any women, yeah, they supposed to fight. Ask kids, who you want Floyd Mayweather to fight? Manny Pacquiao. Ask TMT kids, they be like, tell them to take the test. TBA, you know how the TMT guys. But anyway, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I had to do this video because people have been bugging me for like 2 weeks. They're saying, listen, T Street, why won't you talk about the Alex Ariza video? What is your take on that? How can you trust somebody like that? You know? Then all of a sudden he's just like Mother Teresa. You know, he's running around to these different camps, and every time he leave a camp, he start talking shit. So now, of course, you got to think, okay, well, yeah, now he's free, and then he's over there with the arch nemesis. Of course, he's gonna start talking shit about Manny. But it said that maybe he wants to go into soccer. You know, as it stands right now, we don't know how long he's going to be working with Floyd. And as it is right now, I'm guessing Floyd just signed him up, you know, just to be like, yo, you're not just going nowhere now. You TMT. They're probably going to continue to keep signing his ass. So there's also so many different benefits to signing with Alex Ariza. For example, Floyd Mayweather used his legs a lot. Here in these interviews, you can see that Alex Ariza played a part on that. And you got to give it to Alex Ariza, no matter what, even though there's controversy. Don't forget, Chavez Jr. was just, before, he was showering on nothing before drug test, he was getting out of there. And that was in Alex Ariza's camp. Remember, Floyd Mayweather and everybody was accusing Manny Pacquiao, when he was Senator Pacquiao, of using steroids. Alex Ariza was in his camp. Marcos Maidana with the galls up the nose. They were, you know, Alex Ariza was in his camp. So you see where I'm going with this, you know. So, but on the flip side, all his fighters coming in great shape. They always make weight, you know, and they always have the ability to rehydrate astronomical amounts. Alex Ariza can get you to rehydrate 30 pounds. He was doing that for Chavez. Chavez is weighing at 159 and coming in the ring like 192. And then leave the ring in like 175. He'd still be all that sweat, and he'd still be overweight. But anyway, I'm T Street Controversy. Please subscribe around the boxing forum right below. I know this video was a little bizarre, but it's early, and it's so much going on, you know, and it's hard to talk about one topic without talking about the other, with the Al Heyman stuff, with the networks. It's crazy. I run a boxing forum right below Real Combat Media. All my videos and articles, everything are right below the website, and right there. Just waiting for you to click. And this is a new method. I'm gonna just sit here for like a couple seconds and just wait for you to click it. And I got a Facebook. It's right below that. So it's a boxing forum. I use a personal Facebook page as a boxing forum. There are reasons why. I don't feel like explaining, but all you have to do is click it. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live.